concert by Jason Aldean. 22,000 concert goers were there at the Harvest Festival, and we're going to hear from another one.
Well, one of those guests, joined now by Courtney Perna in studio with that interview. Courtney.
Hi guys, at a time like this, it's nearly impossible to find a silver lining, and the only one that I can think of is that the community really does come together, and I reappreciate friends that I have. Like actually at the event last night, I saw your Facebook video. It's crazy. But the thing is you're a world traveler. I see you in Africa, I see you in Asia, and for this to happen in your hometown, what was that like?
I'm still in shock. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the event. I mean, my voice is still even very shaky, and
right.
you know, it was, you know, I left the festival. I walked across the Mandalay Bay to meet another friend who was there, and you know, I stopped to sit down and just stare at the stars.
So you were on your way back to the festival?
I was on my way back to the festival.
Took a moment.
Yeah, I just stopped by to just, you know, I was like, oh, the stars out, you know, and then I saw the first set of flashes, and then I saw the first set of flashes. And
we see you here hunkered down at a bus stop just across the street. What was going through your mind at that group of 5 or 6 of you?
Well, it's just very unreal. I've heard gunshots before,
right.
But it's just I've never heard them. So I've never heard automatic rifle shots or whatever, you know, and so it still didn't seem like it was actually happening, because in the video you could see it was still very calm, but I understand what's going on. It seemed like someone was just shooting into the air, and I was looking right across, and I saw, you know, the police. They were scrambling and trying to get in there, get situated, and so yeah, so I was just like, okay, well, you know, maybe it's getting handled.
Yeah, but you immediately started broadcasting on Facebook, one of the very first people to go live.
Yes.
You know, and I heard you in the video say, I can see glass falling out of Mandalay Bay. I can see people being carted off. I mean, what's that like to be right there?
I mean, I literally, if I looked behind me, I was right in the line of possible fire, and even with that, I still didn't think like, oh, I should, you know, hide a little bit more. Eventually, I was like, hey, this seems like not the right place to be.
I heard that part in the video. Yeah, I can hear it in your voice, and I know you haven't slept yet, really.
Slept yet, yeah.
Tell me about your roommate. Your roommate was inside the festival.
Yes, Tom.
We're going to go back now to Courtney Perna and hear this amazing story about a concert goer who was there right across the street from all of this as it happened. Courtney?
Thank you so much. Actually went into Mandalay Bay to kind of help out a friend who was having a hard time on his way back to the concert, walking across the street. And I know you're a very deep individual. I love having conversations with you, and I can just imagine the moment you stopped and looked at the stars, it went from like high to low.
It did. I saw the first spark, and I thought, oh, they're about to have fireworks. This is even more amazing, you know. And then I saw it again, and I thought it was on the other side of the building. So I was then I saw it again, and I thought it was on the other side of the building. So I was getting up to actually try to, you know, figure out maybe we should just look around and see if we can see any more of it. And that's when I heard the rapid fire. And then there were 2 police officers, right? By the way, the Metro, they were so amazing yesterday. They got everyone out there as quickly and as calmly as possible. They mobilized. I mean, it was amazing to watch. You know,
when you see the officers with long guns, you
right.
know something is happening.
Yeah,
Tell me what your roommate told you.
Well, he was right in the middle of it all because he was coordinating, you know, the event, and there's nowhere to run for cover because it's just big open space, and so a lot of people would just lay down. And you know, he was somewhere there, and you know, just right next to him there were people getting hit.
Right next to him.
Yeah, and you know, I called him, and he couldn't even speak to me. He just like couldn't figure out what words to use, and at that moment is when I realized, because it's like, you know, you hear about it, but if it's happening to someone you know, that's a different way to experience that sort of tragic situation.
When you finally posted on Facebook, I saw it this morning that you were safe.
Right.
You said that you didn't know what it's to do. You would open your home. You would
right.
you know, do anything. What are you thinking now? Like, what can you do?
I mean, I have a couple of other friends who are missing. They're missing their sister. One's missing their sister.
You still haven't heard from them?
We still haven't heard from, and he's in Hong Kong. So I've been kind of calling the missing persons hotline.
On his behalf.
and yeah, and trying to see if I can get any names, and just making sure everyone's checking in, you know, to make sure. It seems like a silly thing because, you know, it's like, but you need to make sure you're safe because there are people worried about you, and it's only fair, you know, it's to ease everyone's worries, and yeah, so that's all I'm doing right now is just that, and you know, I've talked to some friends in other stations, just trying to give them some idea of
how are you appreciating your life and in your travels around the world? I mean, you've been to some dangerous places.
Yeah, and I've traveled everywhere. And the thing I always tell people is, like, if you're afraid to do one thing, that fear could actually lead you into a dangerous situation. So it's like, you know, you run away from this and you end up, it's like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So that's another reason to stop living life and stop, you know, seeing the world as, you know, experiencing life. And I hope that everyone watching this can understand that they just need to keep going, you know, and keep just doing what they do.
And you're very profound, and you did say tonight there are no strangers.
Tonight there are no strangers. That's right. I think everyone should open their doors and their hearts and do, you know, whatever you can do. People just don't know what to do. It's just everyone's still in shock, you know. You can follow the metro. The social media pages are filled with information and ways people can help. Blood banks right now, I think, are pretty full
of people, yeah.
And they want people to actually call in and schedule appointments to come in and donate blood if you're O negative or O positive. So, I mean, there's all this information, but I think people are just, there's so much going on, they don't know where to check. So I think, like, if you have any information, just feel free to share. I'm still in shock. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the event. I mean, my voice is still even very shaky.
After the Route 91 tragedy, he had briefly left the concert, ran across the street to Mandalay Bay to talk to a friend when he saw what he thought were fireworks. But it was actually the first shots fired into the festival crowd. He was one of the first people to go live on Facebook, too, hunkering down at a bus stop.
He joins us back again today with a new perspective on life. So good to see you, my friend.
You as well. How have you been?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk to you because you say now nothing scares you.
That's right. Yeah, I've just, ever since that incident, you know, I've just had a new perspective. I've been a little less afraid of just day-to-day things, and, you know, I just go out and do whatever feels right to me. And so, yeah, it's been nice.
It's good. You know, live for your own happiness. I know you've said once. I follow you on social media.
Right.
It's so inspiring. Your work that you've done in Africa, amazing. Tell me what you've been doing.
Well, I went to South Africa in April or so. I met up with my friend TJ Liven. I think you might know him. Noticed that he would give money to, you know, people if they had a cool sign or something that, and they said they needed money. And so just so these little things started to inspire me, and I actually made a little documentary on him. And so then I started doing that as well in my own life. And then when I went to West Africa, I went to Nigeria. Then I met another this little boy named David, and he just, oh man, he just I just had to help him, you know. There was just something about him.
David
that was
is
interesting.
Mute and he's deaf.
Right.
And has never been to school.
Right.
You got him to go to school.
I got him to go to school, yes.
Tell me, how'd you do that?
In 3 weeks. Okay, so when I met him, I knew nothing about him. I just saw him playing around, and he was just very entertaining somehow. And I found out that he lost his parents when he was 3, and I think he's about 8 to 10 now.
Okay.
And so I decided that, I was like, this kid's too smart. He needs to go to school. You know, I was sad when the other kids would go to school in the morning, and he was just home. So I made it my mission for 3 weeks.
Well, you know what it's like to lose your father not too long ago. That happened plus 1 October. Then a lot of loss happening around you. But also we're inspired to honor your father's work in Nigeria, too, after the tragedy.
Right. And, you know, that was another thing I was running away from is in my life, you know, I don't like to get into disagreement, especially with property and like things like that. They get a bit crazy. But I had to decide, you know, this is my father's legacy, and I want to keep his memory alive and the things that he fought for and the things that he worked for in his life. And so that was my second mission, I guess you would say, as well.
Yeah, and as long as I've known you from 2004, 2005, you've always had a camera with you, you know? You've done some really great work here in Las Vegas. You're shutting up your shop, though, and you said you're doing some of that work that inspires you, but now you're not afraid to get in front of the camera after 1 October. So tell me what happened there.
Well, it's just someone said I had a face for the camera. I was like, okay, sure, I'll give it a try.
So I always wanted to act, you know, and I've done some TV personality type stuff in the past, but I've never gone through like memorizations and things like that. So that's something that I always wanted to do. So now I'm deciding to go for it.
And you got a role.
I got a role in a film, yeah, in Nigeria while I was there. I met someone, and you know, it's one of those things, like things just seem to happen magically. And I feel like the nicer you are to people, the easier it is for good things to happen as well.
Because I think that you could easily go into a dark place after having a tragedy like that. But you, sir, have done some really great things, some really brave things. Right. And I'm glad you're doing things for yourself, too, not for other people. So thank you so much for joining us, kind of giving us the little silver lining when something terrible like that can happen. I appreciate it.